It's November 17th, 9 days till Thanksgiving. Barack Obama needs to climb up under a rock and shut the fuck up. And you're listening to Blood Sore Trauma. I'm Jay.
I'm Lo.
And what's up with this fucking election?
Who knows? 9 days out until Thanksgiving. There's restrictions that tell you how many people you can have in your home. It's a joke. It's like, good morning, communist America. You know, just, we're there.
Yeah, I mean, when did anybody think we would ever hit a point in life when somebody could actually tell us who the fuck we could have in our house on Thanksgiving?
Right,
or any
whether
holiday,
you can dine
period.
in your home or you have to dine outside.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's come down to the point that the Democratic Party has successfully, at the way it looks at this point, has stolen an election.
Exactly.
Completely fraudulently stole an election. And every Democrat judge in every state that they're trying to contest this in is holding up Biden's side. They've been paid off. Right. Everybody's pockets have been buttered just a little bit. And now we're going to suffer the consequences because at this point, America, welcome to the socialism.
That's exactly right.
Because, I mean, that's all it breaks down to.
All we can hope is that the Trump administration can uncover the election fraud that's went on in this country for far too long. The vote actually doesn't belong to the people of this country, and that's very sad, and we're seeing that. And I don't believe for a second that there were enough people in this country to elect Joe Biden as president.
I agree.
You know, if you live here, you see the support that Trump has and has had for his entire time in office. It's pretty sad. All you can really do is just revolt against it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep on keeping on.
What I can't figure out is the whole Democratic Party at this point is standing on their side and they're hollering, "Oh, just concede to the election." You know,
right.
That's what we would do.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
4 years of
4 fucking years ago, did you
Trump
concede to the election?
Right.
Well, eventually, Hillary conceded to the election before she went on a 4-year fucking Cry Me a fucking River tour, getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for these feminists to sit around at these colleges and stuff and listen to her talk about how she was robbed of the election and shit. So now they're making a big deal out of Donald Trump. Actually, Mr. President Donald Trump is actually trying to fix the voting process.
Yeah.
He's not saying, you know, hey, I can't concede because I just flat out lost, or, you know, or I'm a crybaby or some shit like that. He's actually pointing out to the American public, hey, look, people, there's something fucking wrong.
Fraudulent activity
this is
happening,
fraud.
right.
We're not having good,
Your
fair,
votes are
just
being
elections.
stolen.
You're getting fucked over.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fucking help you. And then what's he getting? He's getting some crybaby shit over his fucking shoulders the entire time.
No one should be able to denounce the fact that it's fraudulent at this point. If they've uncovered that there's dead people voting, that's a fucking issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that should just seal the deal right there.
Yeah.
I think that we should vote again. To be honest,
I agree.
You vote on that day. You show ID. You can't register on that day to vote, and that's that. That way, at the when the polls close, within a couple of hours, we should know who the president is. That's the way it should work.
Right. And I mean, right now, if anybody's too damn scared to go outside and go vote, then their asses don't need to be at the fucking store.
Right.
You've got these people saying, "Oh, well, I can't go vote because this whole bullshit virus bullshit." But the fact of the matter is they're going out to the fucking store, they're getting their fucking hair done like Nancy Pelosi does.
Right.
I mean, they're going out, they're doing their normal routine, but then they can't go vote.
Yeah.
They just don't want to be interrupted in their fucking day, so they can't sit around on their fucking phone all the fucking time talking to their friends bitching about shit. I mean, give me a fucking break here.
Yeah, fuckity fuck.
Fuck. I'm tore up today.
I mean, it's sad, and the far left has waited years to get a stronghold and on their socialist agenda. So they're not going to let it go. And these runoff elections for the House and the Senate, they're not, it's going to be in favor of the Democrats.
Right.
It's going to come in favor of the Democrats because they're not going to let this go. They've finally got a hold of it. And really all we can do is try to revolt against it. Like with the Thanksgiving lockdowns. That's a joke. We shouldn't be told how many people we can have in our home. They have to be certain family members or whatever. I mean, in California, they tell you can't chant outside, you can't sing, you can't do these things. And it's like, are we in China right now?
Right.
You know, where are we?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And it goes back to like this morning, flip on the fucking news. It's the same old bullshit with Fox News. But, this morning they were making a good point that they were talking about this whole Biden talking about this whole white supremacy shit that he's seeing now since, the election and all that. It's not a show of white supremacy. This Antifa bullshit is still going. Right. The BLM bullshit is still fucking going because they're not going to stop it. But the whole Democratic Party, the whole left side is just completely ignoring the fact that Antifa is still beating the shit out of people and stabbing people and shooting cops and shit. But it's white supremacy.
Right. They have to keep the division going. That's the only reason why they do it. They want to keep the division going. That way it'll keep unrest among the people of this country. And then hopefully in another 4 years they can get more people on their socialist agenda train, Right. That's the only reason. It's civil unrest caused by the far left Democrat Party to keep their agenda going. And it's sad because no matter your color in this country, we are a melting pot of all immigrants. And I believe there's a legal way to come into this country. That's the way it should be done. And as far as racism being embedded in this country, there's no systemic racism. That's a joke for them to say that. We're too diverse. We're too diverse of a nation to be filled with racism. It's an absolute joke, and they've pushed it for far too long, and it's got to end. And this white supremacy that they call it is also a joke. There's hardly anybody left that would really praise a Nazi. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, the thought of that is retarded.
Right.
Doesn't exist.
I do have something to add to the whole racism thing. Right now, Joe Biden's whole cabinet is trying to play out this whole thing where he's supposed to be some kind of savior for the black American,
right.
for, the Mexicans. I mean, for all the Hispanics and everything. He's going to completely undo everything President Trump did as far as, illegals being in the country and stuff like that. Okay, if he's the savior of the black population, what the fuck did Obama do?
Right.
So the black president wasn't the savior for the black people?
No, they're going to leave that to Uncle Joe. But, ain't that funny how they called him Uncle Joe the whole time that he was the vice president?
Right.
It's like, you all need to wake up. You need to see who exactly you elected or who you voted for to run this country, because he is definitely a deep racist.
Right.
And they'll see that eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because as soon as they hollered, oh yeah, Joe Biden won the election, but nobody's conceded. Nobody's actually confirmed that he's won the election yet. The right, sources other than just mainstream media. But in this process of them confirming this, they're hollering, how Kamala Harris, camel toe, is supposed to be the first woman vice president, the first black vice president, and the first Asian vice president. How the fuck is that supposed to work?
They're going to fill it with whatever different culture they can.
Right. I mean, what's going to be next? I mean, what does somebody in the Hispanic,
how many race cards does one individual get to play?
Right, exactly.
Choose
but
one.
Then,
Elizabeth Warren's white ass chose American Indian. You can't just choose one.
Right, but at the same time, I thought you were supposed to be an American to hold the American presidency.
Sure.
But if you identify as a different race or nationality or something like that, aren't we supposed to uphold you to what you identify as?
I don't think that matters anymore. Look at Ilhan Omar. She's in Congress and she wears a turban.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think that really matters anymore.
Yeah.
We've let it slip away from us. We really have. Yeah. And it's all over now but the crying, sadly.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I'm hoping and praying and holding on that maybe, just maybe, they find one Republican or maybe even just an independent judge that actually does something that hasn't been bought off by the Biden administration. Maybe.
Right.
And something can actually be done. Giuliani was on yesterday, and he was talking about how they have proof of, I think it was almost 2 million fraudulent votes.
Yeah.
Of dead people, people piped in on buses and stuff from different, counties, different regions in the states to have them vote. And then, so they have a double vote. They voted in their state and they voted in somebody else's state too. So, I mean, that's proof. That's proof.
What makes, I guess I'm the most confused because I don't understand how come people aren't upset about that. No matter who you voted for, they've stolen the vote from the American people. And you should be upset about that. if nothing else upsets you, you should be upset about that, because blatantly what they're saying is your vote does not matter.
Right.
You as a person in this country do not matter. Your thoughts and opinions do not matter.
Absolutely.
I have an issue with that personally.
Well, I mean, anymore, just like you're saying with the thoughts and opinions, and they really don't matter. If you look at social media right now, your thoughts and everything do not matter.
Right.
You're censored. Mm-hmm. So the only thought that you can have on social media, on certain platforms, Parler's a good platform because you can talk all you want to on there, and they don't try to censor anybody. But there are a lot of platforms out there that, Twitter, Facebook, all this shit, that are so far left. Unless you have their opinion, your opinion doesn't count.
And look at how through a short period of time, that trickle down effect that social media has had on this country, doing that on the election, everything that they censored, it really did have a trickle down effect to where it's affected everything. And it's like, hold up, why couldn't we have that with the economy?
Right.
It's because they hold it back. You can't have two separate, as diverse parties as we have, and try to accomplish anything in this country. It'll never happen. And again, sadly, the Biden administration, they've already recognized that, and they're going to make sure that they have both the House and the Senate so they can get their wild, crazy socialist agenda going. The Trump train has left the station, and now the socialist train has hit the platform. We're fucked.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And, I go back to this thing every time, and everybody's probably tired of hearing it, but it goes back to, I saw that there were 9 million more people age 18 to 25 that voted this election. Mm-hmm. 9 million more than in 2016. And I feel like a lot of it, and I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of it's got to do with the younger generation. They have a very short attention span. Even as they got even older than what we were when we were grown up and holding jobs and stuff, they have a very short attention span. And I think when they heard all this socialist movement and stuff, all they heard was free healthcare,
sure,
free college, and more or less you do whatever the hell you want to, and just as long as you're happy.
Knew that. They
and
knew
exactly.
that that's how you sell their agenda.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like that they robbed the election that way, too. I mean, They used America's youth against its own system. Mm-hmm. And now we've got Joe Biden going to raise the taxes. It's going to kill jobs. And then people go, oh, well, unless you're making over $400,000 a year, who do you think provides the fucking jobs for everybody?
Right.
It's the people making over $400,000 a year.
Then what? Right.
Yeah, I mean, so
there's
now
not going to be jobs for people in this country.
Now they have a socialist agenda going. And what's going to happen at this point is, for some reason, they're trying to make America the greenest fucking country on the planet. For what reason? It's not going to do absolutely anything because the rest of the world is polluting it with these gigantic factories. And I can tell everybody now that the earth spins and the atmosphere is not attached to it. So we share an atmosphere. So it's not just the air over our skies to get polluted by these other countries and stuff. So at this point, what's going to happen is they're going to ship all of our manufacturing jobs and stuff overseas, all of them. Just wait and see.
They're still going to be polluting the atmosphere.
And they're going to be polluting the atmosphere, and we're still going to be getting the adverse effects from it.
Well, see, I think that the way it's been looked at for so many years is that America is the catalyst to change. They're the country that decides on how to make this planet a better place to live. It's kind of like a given. It's been for us, though, in my opinion, shit or get off the pot.
Right.
I'm all for preserving the environment. I'm all for going green. I like organic. I don't have an issue with any of that. What I do have an issue with is the rest of the country using us to pay for things that they're not willing to do themselves. Now, I have an issue with that because the taxpayers pay those things. Now, like with the Paris Climate Accord, I'm for Trump, getting out of that. I think it was a bad deal. We've spoke about it over and over, how China is the biggest pollutant in the world. And if we're going to contribute to something and try to lower our own emissions and pay the bigger part of the funding, then everyone else should get on board as well. And the fact that they refuse to because they think that, United States